Hi, my name is Lexi. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for being here. So today I'm going to talk about my update from last week, as well as I want to do a little book review. I finally read this book, Delay, Don't Deny by Jen Stevens. So after I do my update, I will tell you what I thought of it. So last week, my weigh-in was 176. That was a new low for me, and I was telling you guys that I had just completed a 60-hour fast. This was before I was going to go out of town for Memorial Day weekend. We went up to Idaho, and I was going to have 4 eat days in a row. So instead of just skipping a fasting day, what I did was I had a 2-day fast the week before my vacation, and then I had a 2-day fast the week after. So when I got back on Monday, I just ate on Monday as we were traveling home. It's just, I don't know, like I could definitely fast while traveling, like driving in the car, but I find that it is harder than I did it once, and it was harder than I thought, just kind of sitting in the car with my family while they're all snacking and whatnot. And when I did it, I had only been fasting for a couple of months. So I think if I did it now, it would be a little easier, but I don't know. I just didn't want to this time. So I decided to do that instead. So last week on Tuesday and Wednesday, I did a 2-day fast again. So I just wanted to mention that with extended fasting, and I don't really consider 60 hours to be an extended fast necessarily, but when you're fasting for longer periods of time, you definitely want to be more mindful, that you're doing okay physically. So the first 2-day fast I did the week before, it totally went fine, but when I woke up on the second or third day, depending on how you look at it, right before I was going to break my fast, I did feel a little shaky. And what I should have done was test my blood sugar, because I do have a glucometer, but I didn't. So I just broke my fast and I was fine. But the next time I actually felt a lot better. I didn't have that same experience with feeling shaky when I woke up after fasting for 2 days. And I did end up testing my blood sugar twice. So I tested it at 48 hours and then again at 59 hours, about an hour before I broke my fast. And both times my blood sugar was at 78, which is really quite normal for fasting blood sugar. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that's something to be aware of. And but just to get on to my results, sorry, I usually try to be quick about reporting my results in case that's why you're here and you want to just move on. So I last Saturday weighed in at 176.7. So that's 0.7 pounds up from my low. But as I mentioned in my last video, I expected to be up a little bit, because when I weighed in at 176, that was 2.1 pounds lower than my previous low. And it was also right after a 2-day fast. So my schedule was a little bit off. So I expected it to go up, and that's fine. And something to kind of keep in mind is just that when the scale does go up, is just to really like remember where you started. Like just because I'm 0.7 pounds up from my low, like I'm still 32 plus pounds down from where I started. I've made all this progress. It doesn't mean that I've lost any progress. It's just that with what's going on in my body and my fasting schedule, like I went up a little bit. It's fine. Like I have faith that I will get back down and get to my goal, which I am only still 1.7 pounds away from that. So it's all good. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to tell you what I thought of this book. So I really, really, really enjoyed it. Okay, so Jen Stevens, who wrote this book, Delay, Don't Deny, I knew when I heard the title, and I had heard so many people recommending it, that I wanted to read it, and I pretty much knew that I was going to love it. Jen Stevens is not a doctor. She's not a medical doctor, and she does she does put that disclaimer right out there in the beginning. So I'm going to read a few passages from the book for you and just kind of tell you what I thought. Okay, so here's her first, the introduction. She says, "Okay, you caught me. I am not a medical doctor and I am not a nutritionist. You may be asking yourself, why should you listen to a regular person like me when it comes to dietary advice? Of course, you should not take medical advice from random people that you don't know, and that includes me. Always check with your favorite trusted medical professionals when making decisions that could affect your health. If you have a medical condition, you absolutely have to talk to your physician before changing your lifestyle. Nothing in this book should be considered by you to be medical advice for me. Go read the disclaimer if you haven't read it already." So I love that she puts that right out there. And honestly, for me, when it comes to making a lifestyle change or like a big dietary change like this, I like to hear from medical experts and experts and scientists and all that. I do value their advice highly, but I also really value anecdotal evidence, meaning just seeing what other people are experiencing and hearing how it worked for them. And so this is definitely that. And I feel like with Jen, she has a lot of experience with other diets. And also she has maintained her weight loss through intermittent fasting for, I think, like 4 years now, which is really amazing because anybody can lose weight. Sorry, someone's car alarm is going off. Anybody can lose weight, but maintaining it is a whole other story. And that is much more challenging, I feel like, and a lot more rare. To find people who have been able to maintain their weight loss. So this is a very like conversational style book. It's very laid back. It's a quick read. I read it probably in a few days just by like, reading snippets here and there. It's easy to read. She just has a great personality. I think you'll really enjoy it. So I'm just going to read a few more passages, and this is about calories, which you know that I've already done a video on that. And she says, "By now, though, we've all heard of calories, and most of us have tried to count them at one time or another. Scientists have shown that calorie calculations of various foods are consistent over time in a lab. Unfortunately, or fortunately, your body is not a lab. Think about it. Do you really believe that you could eat 1,200 calories of jelly beans and have the same outcome as if you eat 1,200 calories of raw vegetables? Spoiler alert, you can't, at least not long term." So we have the same kind of philosophy on calorie counting, and I appreciate that. She says, "Which approach to intermittent fasting is best? It's the one that makes you feel in control and the one that you can follow long-term as a lifestyle. That's important to understand from the beginning. Intermittent fasting is a lifestyle. It isn't something that you start today and then end when you get into some arbitrary goal weight. Something you start and then stop is a diet. Intermittent fasting isn't a diet. As I said, it's a lifestyle." So I love that perspective and that philosophy, and that's kind of what I've really latched onto while, doing intermittent fasting and alternate day fasting, is that I've committed to this lifestyle. It's not that I'm just doing this as a diet, and when I reach my weight, I will stop fasting. I will change my fasting schedule, but I'm not going to stop fasting. It's something that I really believe in and that I'm committed to doing for the rest of my life. So the one thing that Jen Stevens is very adamant about, and you'll see throughout her book that she really does kind of say, you do what works best for you. This is my experience. But the one thing that she's very, very kind of strict about is clean fasting. And so I just wanted to mention that just so you know. If you do join her Facebook group, which is an awesome group, by the way, that is one thing you have to kind of agree to support in the Facebook group, is clean fasting, which means basically you're allowed to have water, black coffee, unflavored green or black tea, herbal teas or sparkling water, but not flavored, no added sweetener, whether natural or artificial. And the reason for that is that there have been studies that that say that even the taste of sweetness, even if it's like from stevia or something, will spike your insulin. And so it can inhibit your progress and also potentially break a fast. So breaking a fast is kind of one of those things that people disagree on. And I'm just gonna put that out there that she's very, very adamant about that. I guess she used to put stevia in her coffee, and she had lost a lot of weight, but like had 8 pounds or something that had crept back on, or that she was trying to get off. And when she cut that stevia out of her coffee, she was able to get rid of that. And so she's had that experience where it really worked for her. And so I think it's something to be mindful of. For me personally, I feel like if putting, having flavored soda or a diet soda when you are at a restaurant with family or something, if that's what's keeping you on track and keeping you committed and keeping you from quitting, then honestly, like, I say it's okay. It may not be ideal, and it's something to be mindful of in the future if you're having trouble, getting the weight off or whatever. It's just something to be aware of, but at the same time. So that's my take on it, but just so you know, that's something she's very, very adamant about. And then last of all, I just want to read this passage that is about intermittent fasting is a lifestyle, not a religion. So why do I say that intermittent fasting is a lifestyle and not a religion? It's because I want you to forgive yourself when life gets in your way. You will take a day off to live your life, and that's okay. You'll have a vacation or a holiday, and you'll want to turn your eating window into a revolving door. Trust me, I do that too. You do not have to be perfect every single day for intermittent fasting to work. Okay, so those were just a few passages, and I just wanted to kind of tell you that I really enjoy this book. I think it's a great resource. I'm gonna link it below. Actually, I always have this linked below, the 3 books that I really enjoyed the most for fasting. And also, I wanted to mention that Jen Stevens has a podcast. It's called Intermittent Fasting Stories. I found it just through the Apple Podcasts. I have an iPhone, so I bet you can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. So I'll try to link that below if I can. But it's great. It's just her interviewing a lot of different people and them telling their fasting stories of, the weight they've lost and how it's changed their lives. So I really recommend that podcast. I think it's awesome. And let me know if you've read this book and how it, those principles have worked for you. I think it's a great community if you're looking for kind of a support group. Yeah, so I hope you found that helpful, and I really hope you're having a great week, and let me know how you're doing. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.